Today, we're gonna learn how to make a DIY sprinkler system. Stay tuned. All right, since this is gonna be about 30 feet long, I went ahead and got 3 10-foot pieces of PVC. Math, it's easy. So here's the pieces that we need though. So we've got a sprinkler that's gonna spray 15 feet. It's just a little 2-inch pop-up. I didn't want something that popped up 4 inches because I want to get it closer to the ground than that. And then we've got a little male-to-male action here. That's how you ride, that's cool. And then we've got this piece will go here. So this will be hooked up kind of like that. And then this piece is gonna go in here. And essentially this is just a scrap piece that I had, but it's gonna attach to this threaded end, which then will be hooked up to this, which will hook up to my hose. All right, so we can attach these pieces all like this. And you can kind of see how this goes together. So these two pieces are going to be glued, and then this will be the middle piece, which this piece will be glued onto this pipe in the middle, but this is threaded on the inside, and we're going to have this threaded going into that, and this piece will be glued to the other pipe. This will all make sense here in a second. Just trying to go through this pretty quick. And then this middle piece will basically have just this T that'll have a sprinkler set up inside of it like that. There's the glue and cement that you're going to need. Again, on the other end of this middle piece, it's the same setup. You're going to have this piece glued here. This piece screws into here, which will glue on the end down there to hook this all together. This way we can break this down. And then essentially this is going to hook up to that. Same deal. I'm going to have a leg to make sure it doesn't fall over, and then to end it I'll just have a cap that caps that off. So this will all make sense here in just a second, but just wanted to show you what the setup is going to be like, and then we'll start gluing this together, and this will all make sense here in just a second. One thing I wanted to note here, the reason why I'm using threaded pieces is so that I can take this thing apart. I don't want a 30-foot long DIY sprinkler system that I have no place to put this, right? So I'm gonna break this down in 10-foot increments. I can just toss it underneath my deck. The next time I wanna use it, pull it out, put whatever pieces I want back together at whatever location I want, but it doesn't take up a whole lot of space in my house. Hope that helps. All right, so show you what I'm talking about here. We'll set up this little piece, this end piece here that hooks up to, that's gonna hook up to the hose. So essentially, we're gonna have these two pieces threaded. This setup, I'm just going to hand tighten this. I don't want this to kind of, jack with the threads. And then we'll glue this piece to this piece. So you want to prime this first. So get primer action on there. You want to do both sides. So we're going to do both sides, meaning both pieces. So we're going to prime this piece as well. Get a little glue action in here, and just you can be as sloppy with this as you want. And then all I ever do is just do a little bit of a quarter turn here. So we're just gonna go punch it in there, and then get a little quarter turn. You see how it kind of went a little further? That's also gonna get all the air bubbles out of there, so it's gonna stay. And then just keep pressure on it for maybe 10-15 seconds, and then it should be good to go. We want this piece to face like this, so we want that to slide in there like that. So we're gonna again prime. So we're going to prime this piece, and then we want it to face out that way to hook up to that pipe. So we're going to prime the inside of this. Then we're going to get some glue, extra sloppy for you, and just put a little bit of glue on here. I probably used too much glue the last time. And again, just push it in and twist. Hold for 15 seconds. Awesome. So this is essentially going to be our hose piece here. And then once I get out there, I'll attach, this, and then the sprinkler will go on top of that, and we'll adjust the sprinkler once we see how it's spraying. So let's get these pieces put together, and I'm kind of just going to repeat this throughout the whole thing. I'm not sure you need to see all the gluing, so I'm going to put all this together and I'll show you the finished product. Money. All right, so we've got this put together, or not totally put together. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So here's the part that's going to go to the hose. There's that sprinkler, come down this line. This part needs to screw into this part here. All right, so that's really the only part we need to do still, besides put the sprinklers on. So again, this part screws into this part, and then we've got this end. Again, sprinkler needs to go on there. This is the little foot, like I said, so it doesn't tip over. This is going to be pushed up against the fence so it won't fall backwards. If I ever have this moved around the yard, I may just put another arm here in the middle, pointing the opposite direction so it doesn't tilt backwards, if that makes sense. All right, let's screw all this together. Boom. So that's essentially what we want it to look like. It doesn't need to be completely tight on there. I don't even care if that drips or leaks there, because this isn't going to stay under constant pressure. What I am concerned about is this pointing straight up in the air, and that's what that's doing. So let's go ahead and get all this put together, and then we'll get the sprinklers in and we'll show you how this works. So we got the sprinkler on here with these specific sprinklers, these orbits. I don't know if you can see, there's a little dot right there, and that's where the water is going to start spraying. So we don't want that to spray this way, because it opens up to the left when you open it up. So try and get this, so this pops up like this. It's got a little thing you can turn in here, and it turns to the left. It turns like this, right? So that's going to open up the spray or close the spray down. So you'll have either a 360 fan, where you can create 45-degree shot here, and that's what I want to do, because it's going to be right here on this corner. It's going to spray out here, but I want it to cover all the way to the middle where that sprinkler is, and just fan this area. I don't want it spraying my fence. So I'm going to adjust this, because I want this dot to be pointing here, and then when I open it up, it'll just spray that 45-degree angle, if that makes sense. I'll show you when I turn it on. And the opposite's going to be for this. For that side, I'll want it facing this way, and then when it opens up to the left, it'll spray that fan this way, and then this one will just be a 180, so it'll spray kind of like this. It'll make more sense when I get it turned on. All right, so here we are. Probably can't see where the water's spraying, but it's spraying right down the line here. As you can see, the fence is not really getting all that wet. Adjusted a little bit. That middle one is kind of spraying the fence right there. I probably just need to turn that slightly, but I'm getting coverage all the way across this seed blanket. But it is also coming all the way out here, about here in the yard. These are supposed to spray about 15 feet. That bed is 7 feet long. I'm probably at another 7 feet here, so that's pretty close, especially with the hose pressure. Probably not great, but yeah, this is what it looks like. You can move this around your yard as much as you want. So if you have spots in your yard, or you're redoing your side yard or something like that, or just like I'm gonna probably plant seed at my neighbor's yard where the AT&T guys messed it all up to install fiber. I'll probably use this system to water that, just because it covers such a good area. Some of you may be wondering, why go through all the hassle? Why not just get a store brand sprinkler and hook it up to your hose and spray wherever you want? That's a great question. If I had a sprinkler like this, your typical impact sprinkler that, you know, those of us who grew up in the 90s, we know about that. This is great unless it's windy, unless you don't want to spray 25 or 50 feet. 50 feet? 25 or 30 feet. If I'm spraying 30 feet out, I'm watering my whole backyard. I don't need to do that. So this is great if you're doing an entire overseed project. I have 200 square feet that I'm doing. Doesn't make sense for me. Plus, it's April in southern Indiana. The wind just whips through here, which is why I have to wear this silly fuzzy animal on my neck, because it's too windy to talk. So this isn't a great option for a small area. What about something like this? Also, great option. Super cheap, 10, 15 bucks off the shelf at Walmart or your big box store. This works great. I've used this a lot of times. The problem with this, again, it's April. It's super windy. If you can get away with watering once in the morning, that's great. I'm trying to water this for several minutes, 3, maybe 4 times a day, depending on the temperature. This shoots about 20 feet in the air. That water just literally flies away. I'm literally wasting money. So again, not a great option for 200 square foot of lawn. That's why I made this. specifically for this small area. Now, if I wanted to water a bigger area, I would probably just put different sprinklers on here that could spray 15, 20, 30 feet, probably like a rotator or something like that. That would be great. This would be ideal if you also had a sprinkler, in-ground sprinkler system, and one of your zones stopped working. So if one of your zones stops working, perfect. Drag this thing over here, put the same type of sprinklers you have in that zone, and cover that area. If I had my side yard stop working for whatever reason in my in-ground system, this would be perfect. I could put rotators on there and it would cover it just fine. So that's why I made this system as opposed to just using alternative options. It's super easy, super quick, real cheap. I think I got most of this for maybe less than 30 bucks. So I had some extra pipe left over from a different project, so that's why it was a little cheaper. The heads I think are like $5, $6 off the shelf at Menards, no big deal. Also, it just makes sense to me. Get off my back. All right, that's gonna wrap it up. I hope this video was helpful. If it was, please hit that like button and also just smash that subscribe button for me. Help me out. Thanks guys, see you next time.